But my thing is, I never once said they're not better than him. They are. That's just what I would like to see.
And I've got a problem with what you like. I hate what you like.
And I hated the fact that he backed Chris Wood for 10 years.
Cool, that's
I
fine.
hated it. We all hated it.
But he backed me though.
Huh?
He backed me.
And so did Matt Jarvis back me.
Where?
Kinda. You don't play left wing for England. So it's kind of different.
But Jordy, when the pro says it, Bowen,
It's true.
It's true. When the pro says it,
It's true.
Crowd, no. When the pro says it, when he says the pro says it,
do you know what he said?
It's gospel.
Do you know what Matt said? Matt said he was talking about the left side
Selfishly.
and how much he needed the rest of the team.
He's the pro. Why are you contesting it? Don't
No,
compare. No.
too much explaining.
Yeah, too much explaining.
Oh, here we go. He
left you.
The Dudley boys. The Dudley boys, yeah? Bubba Ray's gone that way.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh my God.
From my left, we have got a very special guest who's been patiently waiting. We've been talking off camera, hopefully not wasting too much content and anecdotes. There's been some great anecdotes. But we had to wait for Specs Gonzalez. You'd be surprised to know, Miles.
Sorry, guys. I was coming from Doncaster. So it was long. And when it rains, there's always delays and cancellations with trains. So I apologise, Matt, man. It wasn't my fault. It was the Doncaster, Yorkshire trains.
Welcome to our very special guest, Matt Jarvis.
Very much.
By the way, you don't know Ball Challenge. Jordy, in fact, now Miles, because your Twitter's been annoying me. Name me 3 teams Matt Jarvis has played for.
I would've.
Gillingham, Norwich, and West Ham.
Okay, well done, man. You're prepared. Well done.
Do 2 more.
No.
That's the Miles we know.
Shouldn't have spoke before, should we?
How do you feel not having pre-season? Around this time of year, you're normally either back on the pitch or about to be back on the pitch. How does this? Does your body almost like have a memory where you kind of go, wait, am I not supposed to be sweating and running? And
Well, I'm 4 years, post now, so it's slightly different. That first year, it's actually I actually weirdly really enjoyed it. I loved pre-season. I loved meeting back up with the lads, that whole team bonding, that pre-season trip or whatever it was. So that first year was tricky, and I still miss it now. If I could play now and do all the training, competing, playing on a weekend, I'd do it in a heartbeat.
You don't play at all now?
No, unfortunately not. No,
Oh,
body's no good anymore.
No, but you did like every sport, you know.
Yeah, you come from a sporting family, innit?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
What could it have been if not football?
Well, I think my height might have stopped me doing a few other things. Because I used to swim, so
Yeah.
I was decent as a kid. I was Surrey champion 4 years in a row.
Boy.
Yeah, I did cross country and athletics,
wow.
but weirdly I never did the sprints. I always used to do the 800 and 1500 on the track, and then used to do cross country. And I'm like, why didn't I do the sprints? That was my
you were
whole
playing
game.
football, yeah.
Well, I played football as well, but
Surely you were looking at yourself play football, and be like, I should probably do some 100 meters.
yeah. Well, I used to do the last leg of the relay just for the glory.
Okay, yeah.
My
That's good.
my PE teacher always had a philosophy where the white guys would do the long meters, 800, 1500. The black guys would do just sprints, 200, 100. Leave that to me.
It's interesting that you swim though, because we had somebody in here yesterday recording something, and he was telling us that he believes that he's got big feet and long arms because he used to swim a lot, and he believes that his body evolved in the water. I just want to know, do you think you've evolved through
I
swimming?
think I might be the anomaly there. Though,
Oh no, I don't think you're the anomaly.
Unfortunately not.
No, I don't think you're the anomaly.
That has not helped me with my my hands or my feet, unfortunately.
What size feet are you?
I'm a size 7.
Oh, yeah. You're my cousin, man. I'm 7 as well. I just realised something. All my white friends claim that they can swim. So maybe, yeah.
Okay, not
Like,
claim though.
but they say they were champions in their boroughs and all this stuff.
Oh,
and they can
class.
do the Thames and all this stuff. We might need proof, Matt, you know.
No problem. No problem. I'm happy with that.
Sorry, champion's a big statement, you know.
that is a big
It's a
statement.
big statement.
Breaststroke was my stroke.
That's this one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, my one's that one.
You can't swim.
Nah,
That's the only front stroke. That's the only one I can do. Oh, what can you do, Jordy?
I can't
No,
swim.
you was still swimming.
I can't swim, but it takes one to know one. We was in Barcelona. I watched you.
Yeah, we.
He can swim a little bit.
Yeah, I can swim.
You can swim a little bit.
No. You saw what Marge tried to help me swim. I died.
Yeah,
I died.
yeah.
I'm just not a champion. in Marlborough.
Miles can swim.
I can swim.
He's got his own style. He
The
told
Miles.
us last week. Arms house. That's his own swimming style.
That's it. Yeah.
What's the arms out swim shorts?
It's this one.
Windmill.
That's how he fights too.
It's an overhand right.
Oh God.
I can swim though.
What sports do you play now then?
I try and play golf. I was one of them stupid players that actually never played golf while I was actually playing football.
That's
so
the
now I'm playing catch up. So I play golf. Play paddle a little bit.
Oh, that's
a
blind.
little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
I know.
paddle thing is growing on
Haven't
my
tried it
WhatsApp,
yet.
man.
I haven't tried it yet.
But that all depends on how the body's moving. Unfortunately.
It's padel, right? Padel. That's what it's actually.
Is it
called?
padel?
Yeah, I believe so.
What's
No,
the-
we shouldn't call it that though.
But what is it that's killing you now? What is it? Knees or?
Yeah, like knees, ankles.
Knackered.
Yeah. It's not too bad, but it's a problem if I try and do too much.
Yeah.
But I don't really run anymore. I go on a bike, not a road bike. I'm not.
Okay, he loved the stack, man.
But yeah, I go on a bike a bit, and then I enjoy going in the gym, but it's not going running anymore. Really,
Do you
unfortunately.
swim?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
By
trying
the
to get
way,
back to
I
swimming.
played a new sport yesterday. Pickleball.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
It's that
Is it?
paddle. Yeah,
It's like table tennis with
with big ball.
yeah.
Yeah.
Play that?
No.
Okay, I played a lot.
They're
of
trying
sports
to
yesterday.
get that into the Olympics. Pickleball.
Is it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's
really
good.
I
blowing
was
up.
very
yeah.
good, man, because I was very good at table tennis as well.
Just so you know, it's for old people originally.
Pickleball.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry about
that's
table
fine. No,
tennis.
because we're in the same year, but he likes to come down. He likes to go down to year 17. You up in the year 11s, my bro. Why are you over there on that pitch? Break time finishes early.
Why you on that
Yeah, you like table tennis, yeah?
I love table tennis, man. Yeah. Yesterday, we played like a little tournament, and then we played around the world, and I won everything yesterday.
Around the world's not a serious.
But
game,
do you know what?
Around the world's class.
I had a trick yesterday. My serve, that fast serve every time. That was how I was getting my points.
Whip it.
on around the world.
No, around the world. There's,
Okay.
So you know about around the world. You go around the
Yeah,
table.
I'm good at table
Yeah,
tennis.
one-
What did you say?
I'm good at table tennis
You can't do around the world, T.
because I can.
No, you
can't
can't.
do around the
goes
world.
good at-
I'll
smash
bump
the
into you. I'll meet you.
I grew up in a youth club. I'm good at
Mash
table
We
tennis.
all grew up in a.
Shall I
youth club,
jump in
T.
and say that you say I come from a sporting family?
Yeah. Go
So
on.
both my parents, my mum and dad, were both England #1 table tennis players.
Number one.
My mum won the European mixed doubles.
You see, can I just say, by the way, if you watch proper table tennis players, we
Yeah,
don't
it's a
play
joke.
that. We don't play that.
That is wicked.
So there you go. My dad was the England head coach for
What's his
quite a while.
name?
Nick Jarvis.
Yeah, I think I've bumped
What? What do you mean, Nick
into him.
Jarvis?
I was a
Nick
table tennis
Jarvis.
champion, remember?
Oh, you were a
he
table
was.
tennis champion. Yeah,
in
no
Barnet,
medals,
Barnet.
but
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
In Barnet.
in Barnet, yeah.
Yeah, from year 9 to 11. Yeah, I've got the medals.
We've asked you for them.
I'm gonna
medals
bring
for-
them. I'm
for
gonna bring them
5
on the
years.
board.
You should.
Yeah. I was very good at table tennis. Very good.
It's class.
Great game.
I didn't really play it much. Little bits and pieces, but yeah, I enjoy it.
When did you know you was good at football?
I enjoyed it like anything. I used to play everything as a kid, but I knew I was half decent. I started playing a year up when I first started. So like,
Oh, wow.
'cause I got an older brother, so he was playing, and then I sort of went and watched him, and then I played in the year above, and then once it got to like the following year, I then started under sevens on my usual year after that.
Yeah.
And I was half decent as a kid. I was small, skinny. You know, it's something you have to sort of build into your.
How old was you then? Going into it?
I was probably 6.
Okay, got you.
Going and playing.
And when did you find your first position? Like, what was your first position?
My first position was right back, unfortunately.
Yes. That's my
Never
favourite.
heard that. You started there.
Yeah. No, I don't even remember it, but I get told that that's where I started, and
Okay.
I used to not move from the right back. And I was like, "Why are you not going anywhere?" I was like, "No, I'm right back. I stay here. No one's getting past me
Discipline.
here." But no, I couldn't think of anything worse than playing right back now, unfortunately.
It's inverted now.
Yeah, you'd be
Yeah.
playing wing back now.
No, I know, but that's even worse.
Did you play wing back?
I've only ever played it once,
Yeah.
and that was not a good experience at all.
No, because you're a Man United fan, and Man United play wing backs now.
What? It's what United.
Well, growing up in Surrey, you know,
You've got to support United.
it's
I never knew about Surrey United, Manchester.
Neither
link.
did I. That's what I want to ask you.
I never knew about that link.
They're the ultras.
Is it?
Yeah.
Sorry.
it's not as obviously as passionate as it once was, but
No, of
I'm
course.
still you know that's a team I would follow.
So, you had no plans of being a footballer at that age,
No, not at that age. No,
but you were
no.
supporting Man United.
Yeah,
So who was the player you was looking up to?
Giggs.
I was thinking to say Dennis Irwin, right back.
No. It was always Giggs. That was sort of my idol. As a 7-year-old, I wasn't thinking of playing right back. That was just the position I just got put on the pitch. Yeah. But I was always like that. That sort of the next sort of 5-10 years was always Giggs.
Yeah, but there was another player that you loved growing up. Which I'm shocked by. We're the same age.
Don't say Poborski.
No.
Random.
Do you remember ever watching Gary Lineker play? I don't. I have no memory of Gary Lineker.
No, I've never watched him in a game, but I saw highlights of his goals and stuff. Little clips. But I don't know. It was on TV though. Why was the clips on TV?
So that again, this is why I sort of.
Sorry, guys, you're a bit young. Yeah, one sec.
It's because I had a VHS of Gary Lineker. He was just got the 48 goals for England. And that was sort of at that sort of time. So I remember watching that a lot, and then watching he was playing for Spurs at the time, and it was him and Gascoigne.
I have no memory of that. Yeah. You engaged in football very young.
Hold on. Yeah. So who was your first player growing up, like seeing that? You definitely didn't see Lineker.
Ian Wright.
Ian Wright?
Yeah.
So not even Baggio?
Baggio was around the same time, yeah.
Was Baggio at the same time with Ian Wright or a bit before?
No, Baggio was, but that was used to be on
Golazio.
I'm trying to like think if I saw John Barnes at Liverpool them times.
Yeah.
As a kid, did the adult show me?
Older John Barnes.
Liverpool weren't great at that.
Yeah, they weren't great.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, they were just before then. That's what I'm saying. This is the Gary Lineker era where Liverpool are, and John Barnes is killing it there. I weirdly don't have a memory of Gary Lineker as a player.
It's Lineker England for me, 1990, right?
I just remember Gary Lineker from They Think It's All Over. Great show, by the way.
Yeah.
By the way, Gary Lineker, if you're watching.
He is.
Okay,
Definitely.
so basically, I used to buy your bag of crisps every time, hoping I'd get that £5, and I never got that £5.
That was a big one, you know.
That was a big one. £5 was a lot of money.
That was a big one.
It was £5 in your day. It was 20 in mine.
Well, you got £20.
That's major inflation.
It was 20 in mine.
It was five.
In
It was a
our
fiver.
era, it was an actual fiver. You had a voucher that said this is worth £20.
It was like in a plastic wrapper.
Did you win it?
Never. I was in that advert with Gary Lineker, so I won already.
I don't think I know anyone that won it. What did he just say? I went too fast. Slow down. What did he say?
He was in the advert with
He
Gary
was in the
Lineker.
advert for it.
Yeah, I was on the Walker's advert with him, so I already won the £5. And I got paid for it.
So you won more than £5.
So I won more than a £5.
So I asked Miles for some files yesterday. Crowd, can you go and find the file where Miles is in the advert with Gary Lineker? It's the £5 Walker's advert. Came out in 1991.
I've seen it, by the way.
It's not a £5. It's not a £5 Walker's advert.
I've seen it.
You seen Miles?
Yeah.
I'm in the advert. Remember, I went to a stage school, bro. So
hold on. I've known this guy for 10 years. Why am I finding this
That's
out
a
now?
fact. No, that's a fact.
You guys don't listen to
Was it
Hot Stuff.
Oliver themed? The advert was like an Oliver Twist advert.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it?
I've seen
Please,
it,
sir, I
yeah.
want some more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crowd? Crowd?
Don't laugh.
I'm not laughing.
I know you know what.
My bad.
Before we get into our football stuff, just quickly, can I ask Matt something very important?
Go for it.
I like to ask my guests this. What's your favourite film? Because you can engage a lot about a person about their favourite film.
It's so hard to just name one.
Give me your top three then.
I'll go Law-Abiding Citizen.
Okay. I watched it the other day,
That's
you
a
know.
good film, you know. The guy that got burnt in the cell at the end.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Wait,
just
Phil.
sport it.
Yeah.
All our younger audience who hasn't seen
Came
it.
out ages ago. They should have watched it. Man.
A top three, God, it's hard. I'd still think like the original Gladiator would be up there.
The original
Film's like
Gladiator.
5 days long.
Yeah, because the second one's just come out, hasn't it?
Oh, yeah,
so,
yeah.
like Gladiator. I don't know. It's hard to.
What's one that you could just always watch over and over and over and over? It doesn't even have to be a top film, but a film
You
you
could
just
say
love.
Home Alone.
No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't say Home Alone. The Rock,
Great film.
something like that.
Great film.
Oh,
Yeah.
Michael Bay and Jerry Bruckheimer together.
To be fair, I'm one of them. If I start watching a film, I can't turn it off. I'd have to watch the whole thing, even though I've watched it so many times.
There's some films like that, yeah. The Rock's one of them. Goodfellas is one of them. Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? Because I've seen it on my TikTok. I was going to say it for the boardroom, but it's been on my mind and I can't hold it much longer. Is Marge from Simpsons dead?
I haven't looked into that. I doubt it.
Because it's hurting my feelings.
Yeah, I
Nah,
doubt
she's
it.
not dead.
You sure?
What she done is she.
Faked her death.
you're spoiling it.
It's okay.
But then you
listen.
can spoil it.
We're
no?
going to talk
No,
about it. We're still talking about this.
she hoped that in the future, if she passes, Lisa and Bart stay close. They went to the future. She's dead and they're not close.
TikTok have flipped the narrative.
That's what happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Thank God for that, Jordy. Saved my life.
Because Jordy used to fancy
Marge
Marge.
is my first cartoon crush.
First cartoon crush.
Who's your second?
Wow.
Second, the girl from Proud Family, Penny Proud.
And third?
Maybe Lois now.
What's wrong with you? What's going on here?
Do you know who was Leng?
Three
We ain't all
cartoon
got-
crushes.
We ain't all got free cartoon crushes.
There's
No.
Dexter's mum was Leng.
Oh my god, I thought you said Dexter.
That would have been good.
Dexter's mum was good.
Oh yeah, she had
She had,
hips, boy.
she had hips.
Yeah.
Hips. Hips.
What about the slippers on Tom and Jerry's grandma?
Ooh. Good legs
That
though.
wasn't the grandma, that was a maid, by the way.
Oh,
was that
my
me?
word.
Yeah.
Thomas. Thomas, that goddamn mouse.
T, do you want to go chronological or can I ask my irons questions yet?
I want to point out that like Matt Jarvis got a great career. Played Premier League many times, Championship. Fought his way up to that level, but played under some great managers,
Facts.
some iconic managers, and one of them has got a film being released about him right now. Mick McCarthy.
Mick McCarthy's got a film.
There's a film about him and Roy Keane's fallout.
Is it?
Yeah.
So you know Terry O'Connor? I love Terry O'Connor.
Where you got from there?
I love Terry O'Connor. That's my guy.
That was the link. Was it?
That was the link.
He was managed by Terry Connor.
His name's Terry Connor.
I call him Terry O'Connor. That's between me and him.
TC.
How was he?
Brilliant. I absolutely love TC. Honestly,
You call him
he's-
TC, you know?
Yeah, TC is not
Top
Terry
cat.
Connor. TC. He was brilliant for me as a player. When I went there, you had Mick, TC, and you had a fitness coach called Tony Daly. And the three of them, they had a massive impact on my career. TC used to take me out before training, after training, work on left foot, right foot, crossing, finishing, movement. So yeah, he was phenomenal for me.
What's the worst thing he's ever done?
Worst thing,
Yeah.
give me the curly finger to send me up to Mick McCarthy's room to drop me. That's what you get on a Friday morning. You'll come into the change rooms. Mick McCarthy would be like ready to pick his team, and he would send TC down into the change rooms, and you get the curly finger, and you'd be like, "Oh, here we go," and you go up, and then be like, "All right, you're not playing tomorrow." Like, fucking hell.
That's a hardcore 1-2 though. Mick McCarthy and Terry Connor can't really get much by them. They're like
No, but TC was the like. Not the eyes and ears, but the relatable, like coming to have a
Players
little,
guy,
the
yeah.
players guy, and then you had Mick that would, yeah, he'd have that aura when you walked into a room, you'd be like,
Big Mick.
"It's Big Mick."
He's a galaxy. Am I making this up or was there a picture of Mick McCarthy with Terry Connor in pajamas?
they were at a pajama party together. Yeah.
Is that his thing?
No, it's not. That was not. I never see that.
Oh my God.
No, I didn't make that up.
No.
So he's got a film, yeah? Coming out, what? It's on Netflix.
It's gonna be in the cinema.
Cinema, yeah.
It's
With Ricky.
Steve Coogan playing Mick McCarthy.
It's going to be all right. Mick McCarthy, whoever's in his team watching, the premiere, invite me, please.
Yeah, you have to be there.
Please.
Yeah, you have to be there.
Oh, I need to get in. I need to be there 100%. What a guy, buff.
He's
Yeah, the hair, yeah, it's crazy.
The spam. Space phone. Oh, yeah, no, okay, we'll leave it. Space phone, face, we'll leave that.
Who would you say your top three gaffers are?
I would have Mick as number one.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, he. The biggest compliment I can give him, and he was honest. Everything about him was honest. You know, he was out on a training field every single day. You know, whether he was picking you, whether he wasn't, he sort of had you on side. He was just told you straight. If you'd know whether you played well, you'd know whether you didn't, and that was him. And that's a big thing that I liked about him.
And number two?
Number two, that's then getting to a difficult. I don't. Yeah, then I'll start getting in trouble. God, that's hard. I really enjoyed playing under Slaven for a little bit.
Okay.
I was only there for a short period with him, but I enjoyed his sort of training sessions and the way that he went about stuff. He had Ed and Tossic as his assistant as well. That was good. Sam obviously bought me, played me. That was, he's. I mentioned you before, but he's like a old school manager with all the new school like technology, statistics, sports psychology, that side of things. So that was interesting. And then obviously I played with a lot of managers, so it's hard to sort of pick. But I'd always just go. I wouldn't normally do a top three, so I normally just say Mick McCarthy, and then that would be stopped.
It sounds like on paper you've always had proper honest gaffers.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that something that I don't know, why was that drawn to, like, why did that happen for you to only have these sort of gaffers?
I'd say a lot of it would be down to luck, but other it's like when they sign you, you get a feel for them. So like I had Alex Neil at Norwich when I went there. I enjoyed the way that he was very methodical, gave you so much information about the team and the prep, and I liked that. Some players didn't like that at all. But I actually enjoyed that. Carl Lafferty. You've met Carl, have you? Yeah. But my first ever experience of a manager was Andy Hessenthaler, who was player manager. Okay. So like a 17-year-old getting a manager that was a player manager and then getting sacked as a manager and still being a player was confusing, because I would be calling him Gaffer because it's the only thing I knew, and then there was another Gaffer, so it'd be like,
oh, that's mental.
Gaffer.
Yeah, that's mental.
That was interesting, but. Yeah, I think you have to get a bit of luck, because you find out very quickly on a manager whether honesty is quite a big thing. They say, oh, like, we're going to rest you and we'll play you in the next game, and then they win on a Saturday. Oh, we're going to stay with the same team. That's something that happens.
Was there any managers that you had like not a fallout but a tiff? He would say, okay, Matt, you're dropped, and you think, why am I dropped? Or you asked him, or back and forth.
I'm
sure there's times he's dropped you like, why am I being dropped?
Yeah, I've had a few like that where I don't feel like I should have been dropped, and then you go in and ask why, and they've like done their research, and you come up with like statistics of why you've
statistics.
I
didn't cross the ball.
Well, funny you should say that. Yeah, I had one when I was at West Ham. We played QPR at home and then Man City away, and then I got dropped for the next game. And Sam come to me with the stats and goes, well, this is right. You played QPR at home, you put in 15 crosses, you ran this amount of kilometres, high intensity. And then we played Man City away and you only put in 4 crosses and you didn't run as much. And I'm like, hold on a minute. We were camped in at the Etihad. Like, I couldn't move. Whereas the QPR, we were sort of dominating. But that's just the way it is. You can pick and choose what you want to use. But no, not any fallings out really. I had a really good relationship with Daniel Farke at Norwich, even though I had a shocking time with injury there. He was top.
He was good.
Yeah, and he was good. It was a shame I couldn't get fit to play for him, because I think I would have enjoyed his system.
Do you reckon they'll be all right with him, Leeds, in the Prem this year?
Well, first thing is they said he was going to be the manager for next season, so that's a good start, because he's got his knows where he wants to play. He's got his systems, and he was relentless as well. Like, I wasn't playing at Norwich, but that season they got promoted. Like, they went up. They were still doing double sessions on the last week of training. Wow. It was hard. It wasn't even like you come in from training on, you finish at whatever 12:30 and go straight into the gym. It was no, finish, have lunch, go home, come back at 4 o'clock.
Oh wow,
that's and it was still going on.
Torture, man.
I
can't go home. That's mental.
To be fair, it wasn't low where when you're in Norwich. You're in Norwich. You couldn't really go too far.
It's true.
It's not much to do.
Speaking of crosses,
am
I right in saying there's 2 seasons in a row where you done the most crosses in Europe?
And most successful crosses, so not just throwing them in willy-nilly.
Wow. Is that West Ham?
That was it. Last year at Wolves and first year at West Ham.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you say those, obviously on paper it's easy to say, but would you say those were your best footballing years then?
Potentially, yeah. I think if you're looking for statistics,
exactly.
I think it was, potentially, yeah. I think just because that last year at Wolves was, although we got relegated at the end of it, I had my best sort of season, I suppose, scoring wise, creating, obviously playing for England, so that sort of magnifies it a little bit, and then obviously moving to West Ham, club record signing, comes with a lot, but and then having a real good season there. So ultimately, I would probably say agree with you. But
and who is your favourite striker to cross it into?
I unfortunately I'd never really got a full partnership with Andy because injuries, unfortunately. But I remember when I first signed at West Ham, Sam was like, "You've got the most crosses in Europe," and Andy had the most successful from crosses. I was like, "This is going to be a dream."
That's the sort of data Sam brings to the table.
Yeah, but it didn't materialise. But I had a really, really good relationship with Stephen Fletcher at Wolves.
Oh, we love Stephen Fletcher. Yeah, such an underrated player.
He was top. But I remember that season, I think we were watching all of the goals back. At the end of the season, he won the Golden Boot, and we were watching all of the goals were going in, and I'm like looking at him going, "Yep,
yeah.
Yep,
Thank you.
that was
You had like 4 or 5 like big assist seasons? Was it always a thing in your career to tally assists and like? Because I remember that becoming a big thing in media only about 10 years ago.
Yeah, it didn't really, I suppose, exist while I was doing that. But I think I concentrated a lot more on actually doing the assists rather than scoring, which probably was to my detriment.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think psychologically, growing up, I've just got used to being in that position of setting people up. And especially when I got into Gills, I was the young one with an experienced squad, and I sort of started to do that. But then I realised that I could cut inside and shoot, because I was right-footed playing on the left when I first started at Gills. So I used to cut inside and shoot a lot, and I scored some decent goals. And I sort of feel like I sort of then went to Wolves, a new club. I sort of got injured when I first went there, missed the pre-season, and you're just sort of trying to show people what you're all about again. So I sort of got back to getting the assist and crossing, and that's where TC. I mentioned TC again, but that's where
TOC.
that's where he got me working on my left foot, and that's where then I could cross it with left foot, right foot, no
Because
problem.
your style, your left foot cross style was very much like work the ball, kind of stop it, and then find your angle and pop it. Whereas when you cut it on the right side, it was a lot more fluid. But that left, the way you could, if you had time, you could make that ball go where you
I
needed it to
I
go.
got told very early on. I had 3 crosses that I had. If I was going on my left, it was like I'd knock it and have a foot race, and then you had 3 crosses. You had the dink to the far post, which Sam Allardyce called the POMO. Point of maximum opportunity. That's where.
Oh God, Sam Allardyce, what are you?
No, that's where you
Pomo.
hey, statistically
Was he
wise,
screaming at you? Was he screaming at you on the top?
100%.
So when you get Pomo.
Yeah.
So the right back's thinking, what's he talking about?
So you stick it up to the far post, and that's where Andy was. All Andy kept on saying to me, I still have messages from him now, just hang it. Just hang it up. Don't whip it. Don't try and just hang it to the far post, and the keeper comes and he would
the
just...
defender, yeah.
But I had that one, just dink to the far post. I had the cut back to the penalty spot, and then it was just a whip round the front post. And that was the 3 crosses with your left. On the right, you'd cut in, and they just had to make the run. And if everyone missed it, it went in at the far post. That was the crosses. And if you watch, all of the Wolves ones and the West Ham ones, they know that them crosses are coming in. So if it's coming there, you have to be at the front post, the back post, or the cut back.
So you had 6 different crosses then, 3 on each foot. Basically, 3 on your left, probably 3 on your right.
Ish, yeah.
Ish? So 4.5?
It was three on the left, definitely.
3 on the
and
left.
then the right, it would be more of the whipped on the zone.
So with that being said, do you think you could get fit? Because there's a club that's screaming for left wingers right now. We need the left wingers.
I could do a cameo for 20 minutes and then play
Arsenal,
once a month.
You might be able to do a job.
So cross to who?
Huh?
Who's he crossing to?
Havertz.
No, I don't know.
Oh,
Pomo.
Pomo.
Havertz in the
Hey, I'll
Pomo.
tell you what.
Yeah,
that's
Havertz
not
in the
bad.
Pomo.
What is your favourite cross?
It depends. If it's a proper foot race, then it would be the dink to the far post.
Okay.
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought you
Because
cut
it's
it in,
easier. It's easier when you're on the run to just dig it out. Whereas if you're trying to run and then try and whip that one, you can always touch it with your right foot and it goes off. I've done that a couple of times.
Let me ask you this, Matt, yeah?
Yeah.
It's the World Cup final.
Yeah.
You're on the win.
Yeah.
It's 1-1. It's extra time and there's golden goal.
Okay.
Why are you shouting?
Because it's
It's excitement.
There's never been a World Cup with goal.
And you're about to cross the ball.
Yeah.
But you have to pick the player you're going to cross the ball to at these 3.
Yeah.
Andy Carroll,
Yeah.
Giroud,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so it's French now.
and
The French World Cup final.
Yeah.
Go on.
Chris Wood. I'm just thinking target man now.
Yeah.
I hear it.
I mean, if I'm doing that and my cross is perfect, I would go Andy. Purely and simply, there's only one other person that's got the same slap head, like that sound when it hits their head, and that was Mick McCarthy. He could he could slap the ball like that. Honestly, when you throw the ball up and you have that.
You're surprised McCarthy can. You're surprised.
Honestly, that sound. But Andy, he had that same thing. He could
Punch of the ball.
He could.
McCarthy's got a lot of forehead though. A lot of forehead. Space for another
He didn't
face.
mind heading.
Do you remember
centre
Andy
forwards as
Carroll's
well.
header for England against, I think, Gerard Costa? Who was it against again? That header from outside the box.
Yeah,
That's like one of the best headers I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He could leap as well. Everyone thinks he just stood there. No, he could leap. That's why he probably hurt himself quite a lot.
You reckon that's why?
Yeah. That's what I'll go with. Your
What's
Honour.
it like to have a changing room with Andy Carroll? And I'm not going to mention Tompkins and Collins. And I'm just going to say Nolan and Carroll in it.
Yeah.
Because those two were allegedly a dynamic duo.
Yeah.
What's it like to be in a changing room with those two? Do you having to be, I'm don't get me wrong, pros, Kevin Nolan especially, are you having to be like, I can't let myself slip into, because not everyone can get away with what these guys can get away with.
I couldn't get away with what they got away with. Top people, honestly. That when I first got into that change room, what a place to be. That was, if you look at that spine of that team. I know you're saying don't mention, but you've got James Collins, top player, top pro, yeah. But then you had Nobes, Jack Collison, Tonks, Joe O'Brien, Winston Reid. Then you had like Andy, Kev, like that was Colton, yeah. Well, I mean, we spoke about Colton earlier, but what a change room, and that's crazy. That was some place to be.
That's got to be a deliberate assembly of personalities, though, right? You can't do that by accident.
Well, that was Sam, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was some.
That's a good
team. It was some team on and off the field. To be fair.
So who was in charge of the music? That team, who would come in with all the vibes and the change?
I think it sort of got played around a little bit, but I would say. I tell you what, deadly serious, like deadly serious. Cech was the first player that came, like that sort of just embedded himself into that environment. That's why I think he just embraced it, and like the fans took to him. Everything, he was unreal, and he was the first person that sort of came in. Not really. Been in that sort of environment before, but just embraced it, and that's why I think he did so well. But I wouldn't say he was on the music though.
I'm actually scared to ask this because I heard your teammates, but best two on a night out.
Well, I don't know if I should ask this question, but what for?
What for? Create a scenario. Put them somewhere at a time and a place.
Benidorm. Specs is DJ.
All I can say is I've been to a few Christmas do's and a few pre-season nights, and there's been some fun.
It's Benidorm.
Yes.
It's Benidorm. The season's over. You've made Europe, so you're on a high.
Oh my word!
And two of your teammates have texted you saying we're getting on it.
Where are we saying it? At West Ham.
West Ham.
I mean, I'd definitely put Andy in there, just purely and simply because he's one probably got previous that he knows where he's going. He's got everything sorted, like everything sorted.
Facts.
So I'd probably go Andy. That's a tough second one.
I'm thinking of that.
It's a tough second one. I think if it's me and Andy, I know I'd need a little bit of help, so I'd go Ginge.
Okay.
Just
you got
oversee everything. Yeah.
He's carnage as well, Ginge.
You got security,
But brilliant, top boy, top guy. So I'd go with them two.
Where is Ginge, man?
Well, he's still here. He's still with us. No, he's. I work with him at West Ham.
Okay.
And Busters. He's still there.
West Ham are good with their former players, though, aren't they?
Yeah, really good. There's like 25, 26 like ambassadors, and that's from like Brian Deere all the way down to me, Zavon Hines, Marlon. It's
and you all work as well.
Yeah.
You've all got responsibilities and stuff.
Yeah, it is good, and for like the whole fan experience, you can go and speak to whoever you want, really.
It's interesting. You as a winger, like especially a crossing winger, you've got the Andy Carrolls, the Carlton Coles, you've got all these players at West Ham. The beginning of his career at Gillingham, some of the strikers he played with. Do you know that it is the guy who played?
They might not even know.
No, what is the thing? I'm interested to hear actually. This guy in the middle. This guy's career spans such a long period of time, but he's a modern football player.
Yeah.
He played with Steve Claridge.
I know Steve Claridge played for Leicester City.
Yeah.
Centre forward, I
You
played
guys
with him.
just hold
Yeah. You could join us in a minute.
He had the low socks.
Yeah.
Oh,
Scruffy.
Low
socks back then.
Yeah, only him. Only him with the walkers on the top. Wow. Steve Claridge a legend. Wow.
Yeah.
But that gets better. Go on. Next one.
He played with Rod Wallace.
Rod Wallace. I know
Leeds.
that name.
Leeds, Rangers.
No, Tommy Johnson.
Tommy Johnson.
Oh my! Was Tommy Johnson bored? No, I'm thinking about Andy Johnson.
That's Andy Johnson.
That's Andy
No,
Johnson.
Tommy further back. Ginger hair.
Birmingham?
Ginger hair. Left foot, right foot, hammer foot.
Absolute beast of a
Rod
shot.
Wallace, yeah.
Sounds like he makes music.
Can't believe you don't know who he is, honestly.
Trevor Benjamin.
Oh,
We're getting a little bit later now.
That's Leicester City striker already.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who played for just about 50 clubs, by the way. Patrick Adjumang.
Oh, okay. Now I'm in the car.
Yeah.
We'll let you have that one.
Now I'm in the car.
That's before Preston. That's before he's just come from
Early
Wimbledon
days.
or whatever.
QPR he was.
Yeah, QPR is where he went prem with QPR, didn't he?
Do not say Soji.
There's no Soji here.
You play with Henry as well?
No. Well, yeah.
Carl Henry.
Yeah. I was Henry. I played against him, but didn't play with him.
Carl Henry.
He was a captain.
He wasn't a centre forward.
No, he was a centre back.
Yeah,
He was a
centre half. Yeah.
Was Carl
Captain.
Henry really the Wolverhampton Thierry Henry? Did you lot ever call him that?
No, never. Never.
Trying to spin the block for miles here.
Did I see you and Jota? You played with Jota, right?
No, he was
Jota
after
was
me.
after.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was after me. Yeah.
Marlon King. Played with Marlon King.
Marlon King.
Ebaz Bake?
Darren
Ebanks,
Byfield.
Yeah. Darren
Oh,
By- yeah.
Elokobi.
George Elokobi, yeah.
What did I see him do the other day on TikTok T?
Dance.
Don't know.
No, he's mad now, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's
oh,
amazing.
yeah, he's
Yeah,
nice.
he's nice,
Yeah.
Legend, man.
And
Yeah.
they beat
Left side, strong side. That was me and him.
Big George.
Yeah, Big
Left
George.
side,
Yeah.
strong side. You know.
Is that who you felt most protected by?
Yeah. The thing is with him, I knew that. Poor for me, but I knew I wouldn't have to chase back as much because he'd be all right.
Yeah.
He would
Say
go
no.
and smash someone and take them out and then just give me the ball and that'd be cool.
Did you ever need that, a player that were like, oh, they're kicking him a bit too much. Someone's got to come and look after Matt.
No, I didn't. No, I mean they did.
Oh yeah,
And they also did get taken out because of it. But no, I never felt like that. I in the nicest possible way, I enjoyed it. You know, I learned quite early on to get out of the way, to not get hit too hard, to sort of have that jump a little bit, but also get hit. But you know,
So players from your era, basically, you guys will thrive in this era now because if you touch a player now, you basically blow the whistle.
I know.
You
You should
lot was
see some of
getting
the
tackled.
challenges.
Yeah, the
stuff.
challenges you lot are receiving, especially as wingers.
Yeah,
And
I
just getting
remember
away
I
with
got
it.
absolutely abused by Sam Allardyce because I was at the Emirates. I got taken out by Sanya in the box, and I didn't go down because I was going to shoot. So I didn't go down, and I shot. Obviously, didn't score, and he went ballistic at me. And then Gary Neville on I think it was on Match of the Day, was hammering me, saying, "You know, he should have gone down. What's he doing?" Like, I said, his nan will be pleased with him, but that's about it. And I was like,
That's your
"Wow."
mate.
Yeah. But he was being honourable.
That's your mate.
Yeah, I was.
Gary Neville.
No, he wanted to score. Matt didn't score enough goals. He
I
was
then
trying to score.
So to be fair, luckily for me, I scored a header.
Oh,
in that game,
oh,
in that
oh,
same
oh,
game
yeah.
I remember
afterwards.
that, Emirates.
And there's not many games I scored a header.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Nearly got my head taken
They
off
still
by
lost, though.
Koscielny.
Arsenal had Tommy Vermeulen.
Yeah, they still lost.
I was playing against Arsenal them times. That was Cazorla,
Yeah.
Ziki.
Yeah.
How was they?
Yeah, great. I've been, my first experience going to the Emirates was we got there, you know, warming up. Everyone's, I'm like, the pitch is beautiful. I could wear molds on this. This is great. Like, went out, walked up the tunnel to go out to play. Looking over and everyone's wearing studs. I'm like, why are you all wearing studs? Like, come out on the pitch, they've just watered it. And I was slipping everywhere, having to change my boots straight away. It was crazy.
The Arsenal strict, yeah?
It was a joke.
The ball has to move fast.
Yeah.
That was some tough times.
Back then, though, like if you played, now I think it's like a standard length and standards. All pitches have to meet a certain standard.
Yeah.
Back then, if you were playing against Arsenal and you weren't a team that could zip the ball like them, you'd let the grass grow a bit longer and you wouldn't water it.
Yeah.
So the ball just wouldn't
Yeah,
move.
that was a
It's like
tactic,
the
yeah,
Club
that was a
World
thing.
Cup right now. It's the same thing. Like the ball doesn't move because the pitches aren't wet properly and the grass is too thick.
I know. I remember we were expansive at Wolves. In the Championship, we were like wide open. We went 4-4-2, get it wide, get crossing. We'll score more goals than you. And our pitch was huge. We got promoted. It was like, whew, bring that in a little bit.
I found one
Not
and a half
doing that
feet.
again.
At Emirates on the touchline, what was Arsene Wenger's POMO? What was he saying?
It was probably the cutback, wasn't it?
Oh, you love the cutback, innit? Yeah.
That was our thing, to walk the ball in the net.
That's what I loved Arsenal. You know?
Loved it, man. Oh, man. Good times.
Is there any player you would say that's like you today? With the, cutting, assist, cross, the accuracy?
I think, I don't know, to be honest. I think everything's changed. Everything, even the style of play. I look at it and I think, like Jota, to me, he's changed his game. When he first went to Wolves, he was similar to me as in just direct, just you're just going, you're not messing around doing tricks and that, you just direct. So he was sort of like that. But now, like wingers wise, there's not really too many. Like
Not direct anyway.
not straight running, try and take people on. Now it's like if you're not going to get that cross and get by him, you keep the ball and come out. I never had that thought of I'm not going to take them on. I would always sort of go for it, and I think maybe that was to my detriment. We probably shouldn't have.
It's all
But
data
that was
now,
my.
though, isn't it? It's keep the ball, recycle. Now it's
So
all
now it's
about
not.
controlling the ball.
There's only a
Whereas-
handful of wingers that's direct in this league now.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I'd
though.
say like not to the same degree because he's probably a lot. He doesn't always go on his left foot, but
I know who you're gonna
Doku
say.
at City, he's sharp. But he's more of an inside and shoot.
Oh, he's a patch of Dogu. I said, what?
No.
Doku.
Doku's amazing, man.
But he's
the only one, innit?
different. No, he's not. He's a winger, but he still likes to drive inside. So it's there's not really any players like that anymore.
And that's probably what's kept his numbers low at Cities because Pep keeps wanting to turn around.
Yeah.
Turn around.
Go on, who are you going to say? You had someone you were thinking of.
I was going to get you to rank these three
Ooh.
left wingers then.
Go on him.
That I could think that's direct. Okay, Matt Jarvis, Mank.
Jesus.
That
is manky.
Too many
Yeah, that
words.
is manky.
Miles has
Matt
gone with
Jarvis.
Too many words now.
Can you rank these three left wingers for me then?
What do you want? Want me to rank them what? Best at what?
Say directness.
Directness. Yeah.
Directness.
Directness.
Now, who you would pick?
Who
to
I would
play
pick.
No,
for a top team
Don't
now?
listen to him.
Okay.
Me.
Yeah.
Directness.
There's no value
Directness.
to this question.
Okay.
There's no value.
Leave him.
So Matt Jarvis, can you rank these three left wingers for me based on specs, directness?
I love
Okay.
From 1 to 3, yeah?
Yeah.
Martinelli,
Yeah.
Anthony Gordon, Harvey Barnes.
Harvey Barnes, top.
Ooh.
Directness.
Okay.
I'd then probably go. It's tough between Martinelli and Gordon because I would say Martinelli because he does try and get it and go, but it's a team. He gets told, and the way that Arsenal play is more to sort of keep the ball a little bit more. But I would say if he's left to his own devices, I would say he'd be more just direct. But Gordon as well. So if I'm saying it on like that, I would go Barnes, Martinelli, Gordon.
Would you take Barnes at Arsenal
Oh, 100%.
over Martinelli?
I think it would be good for Martinelli, someone who's going to push him to the next level. Because there's Martinelli and Trossard is two different type of wingers.
Yeah, of course.
Very different.
So if you got someone like Barnes who's going direct and going for goal, then it'll be good for Martinelli. But I think Harvey Barnes is just as good, if not better, could be.
Do you remember when I called Barnes the English Vinny Jr.?
Yeah.
It didn't stick. It didn't go anywhere.
No, but you see where I'm coming from?
No.
I don't see. But if we're talking about England, who else is direct? Who else is direct?
Yeah,
like
there's
that?
not a lot of direct. Those are the three that came to mind. Like, they're direct. They're trying to.
I'm putting
Yeah,
Barnes
you're
on my
right.
shortlist for Werder Bremen when I get in tonight, boy.
Is it?
Barnes is like 17 on your FM.
I play from 19, that's why. You're still playing, Jarvis.
Yeah, I'll take that. I used to play that myself, don't you worry. Yeah.
You had another take that I'm interested to hear Matt's perspective on. Specs maintains to this day that Jarrod Bowen is better than Bukayo Saka.
Okay.
I don't know where you land on that. Have you ever considered that?
I tell you what the biggest difference from Bowen to Saka in recent years is Bowen's had to play centre forward for West Ham. So now he's got that mentality of a striker. So he's now, every time he gets the ball, he knows he's either going to cut inside and shoot and score, or he's going to have to go and get a crossing or go down the line. His first and foremost, his thought is to shoot. Saka's still in that young age where he's trying to provide all the time, which is like I said, like me, I was always thought my first is take someone on, get to the byline to get a crossing, whereas Bowen's first thought is, can I drive inside and shoot? So if they are different players.
So who do you prefer?
So, it depends what team I'm in.
Okay.
Bowen could play at Arsenal, though. Bowen could play up.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. But Bowen's more like at West Ham. He will do everything because he drags the team up the field. He can play centre forward. He can go wide. He can cut inside. Whereas Arsenal don't need that player to do that. They have the other players that potentially be in that position.
team
Like
moves
Bowen
up,
will.
yeah.
he not getting that way, but he would then learn to do something slightly different in another team. Whereas he's got that crossover at West Ham.
Well, I'm going to be honest in my beliefs. Because when I obviously made this statement, a lot of people threw tomatoes at me. I need to throw tomatoes back. Because it's actually close. It's not people...
Statistically, it'd be close.
People talk to me like it's like, you're like I'm crazy. Like they've cracked my glasses because I've said this.
But you double back though on
No,
Bukayo
I
Saka.
think
I think
Saka's...
Bowen's top.
Because you did say Bukayo Saka one time.
Yeah, I
you
think
came in and
Saka's
said
ahead.
he's world class.
I think Saka's ahead, but I think Bowen's got his hand on his tail.
No, Bowen's not bad.
I think he's too far behind. If you're saying
Thank you.
he's
This is
not
a
at all.
bro. Do you know what? Audience and Tego, yeah. I don't give a sandwich about you lot's opinions. It's this opinion that matters. Because he's played with ballers.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So T, can I get a my bad, please?
No. I rate Bowen.
Oh,
I just
here
don't
we
rate him
go.
at the level of
Specs.
Saka.
Huh?
But Bowen's more like...
Do you
know
think
what's-
if Bowen played in Arsenal's team now, that he would produce the same numbers?
No, I don't think Bowen.
I think Saka's a level above, honestly.
Yeah.
But I do think there was that period of time when Liverpool were being linked with Bowen, and I think but what you're talking about him as a centre forward is a little bit more of a ruthless streak.
Yeah,
It's kind of what
100%.
Salah's got.
Yeah, I totally agree
I
with
do
that.
think if a team did find, I mean, West Ham, you know, they're a very good team, but there is a level above them. If a team above them saw space for him, I do think he'd be ready to go to that level, that Champions League level.
I think it's like you say, it's a shape. Like he's more ready for that. He's got the three up front where he's diving in to score, and he's got that from playing up front. He's just got that mentality to try and go direct like a Salah.
Yeah.
Like he's changed his game.
Yeah, he's
from
evolved his
being
game a lot
from
over the
winger.
years.
He's
Yeah,
now
100%.
that Salah-esque sort of cutting score, getting the goals, and he's so good in the air.
But that's
people
good.
don't realise.
That's because he's had to though. He's
Yeah.
had to take that responsibility
Yeah.
because there's West Ham strikers over the past couple of years hasn't really helped him as much in it. So he's had to take that
Ownership.
himself. Yeah, the ownership. To evolve his game. So
Saka
I give him
couldn't
that.
play up front, for instance.
No.
You couldn't play Saka up
You
front.
can't put Saka up front.
But technically, I'm going with Bowen.
Yeah, but I'm never
No,
gonna,
why
I'm
you
never gonna
stuttering?
argue
Why are you
technically.
stuttering?
I'm never gonna argue
Why are
the
you
word,
stuttering?
I'm never going to argue the word technically.
Okay,
with you
of course.
ever again.
But okay, don't stutter. That's what I'm saying. Technically, I'm going with Bowen. Matt, technically, you going with?
Technically, well, that's a. I don't even want to answer
that's
that one.
fine.
That's not.
I know what you like. You can message me after. I'll screenshot and put it on Twitter.
Technically, do you know what player Specs loves that you played with? Marouane Chamakh.
I mean, what a player, man.
Worst.
No, not even. What do you think is worse trim?
Worst haircut. I think
Ronaldo,
so.
because Ronaldo had it first.
What?
Yeah, but no.
Gel.
Chamakh-
Gel.
Yeah, but
Chamakh,
Chamakh had.
he stayed in it.
Ronaldo had hair to gel.
No. There's
Chamakh used to
GEL
put-
and there's JEL.
Chamakh used to put gel on the air.
There's GEL and JEL. TEL you get from the chemist. And JEL, oh wow. You make yourself. He was all right. Like, target man. For you to cross the ball into and stuff. How was he in training and that?
Yeah. Hit and miss.
There's,
What did Wenger see in this guy?
I'm actually glad you said that because a West Ham fan, I was West Ham fan, so questions built up Governor B. He asked me this: are West Ham cursed with strikers?
Yeah. It's such a hard one because you look at the strikers they signed. You even look at Hoolahan. We mentioned him earlier. Like
He left.
that should work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It should work. And when he left,
He
it
kicked on.
worked.
Yeah.
So I don't
Their
know.
best striker over the last 10 years, Mikel Antonio, has
Yeah.
had 2 car crashes.
Yeah.
It's mad.
And he's played on the right wing.
Yeah, well, he played right back.
He's played everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah, he joined as a right back.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So
But
they are cursed.
cursed.
Do you think they'll buy one this summer though?
I think
right?
they'll have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like
just
everyone's
put
after
Bowen
a
up front
striker.
forever.
No, you can't.
They should go for Calvert Lewin. Free transfer.
Well,
Injuries.
Injuries,
That's,
but it's value.
it's valid.
That's actually a good shot.
Calvert Lewin's there.
Do you know I went to school with one of your former teammates?
Oh. By the way, he talks about this player like this player was the best player in the country at the time.
No, he was the best player in my school. We didn't get on.
Okay.
That's Alex Pritchard.
okay.
Yeah. Me and him,
Derby match.
You didn't get on.
our years weren't friends.
Okay.
That's like I think I know him, but our years weren't friends. But he was a baller. How was he for you though? Did you see him kicking on to perhaps do more?
Yeah, well, I was with him at Norwich.
Yeah.
Like, he was the star player at that point when we were there. And actually, funny enough, weirdly, we were both injured at the same time. He'd done his ankle and he was out for about 3 months, and I was out at the time. And he instigated he was like, I can't stay here. I need to get away to go do my rehab somewhere else. And he instigated, because he was the star boy at the time, he instigated us to go to LA to Team Exos to go and do rehab for 2 weeks out there. And obviously he was like, he couldn't drive, so I was the only one that could drive. I was over 24. So literally the two of us went to LA for 2 weeks, and
You was the driver.
Oh, so you owe him a lot.
I mean, yeah,
That's a
absolutely.
good time.
Don't get me wrong, it was tough.
Yeah.
But we finished at 3 and we were in LA.
What did Alex, Pritchard and Matt Jarvis get up to in
LA?
Well, we spent our car budget on the first week.
Right.
We've got a 6.3 litre to cruise around in. But only I could drive.
Yeah, so you're just driving around.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
200 £200 petrol every 5 minutes.
Yeah, but we had to then fork out on our own to get the car for the second week.
You had some interesting young players around at Norwich. I don't know how much you would have played or trained with or watched that. James Maddison's there at that time.
Yeah.
Did you see the Champions League England star and James Maddison when you were there?
100%. Yeah, I remember he signed, I think he was 16. He signed at Norwich and then he got sent back on loan to Coventry.
Yeah.
But he come in for a few days before or as he'd signed. And you could tell straight away, like 16-year-old, we had quite an experienced change room at that point. You were saying like Carl Laffey, we had Cameron Jerome, Russell Martin, players like that had been there, done it.
Yeah.
And he just bowled in the change room, cracking joke with everyone, sat next to everyone. First training session, just to find out what everyone's about. You fire a ball into it, bang, controlled it. Next one, fighting, he's on that. He's already touched it and moved.
Half turn, yeah.
Half turn, you're like, okay. And then he went back and then he come back. And it was only, honestly, it was because of Pritch got injured that Madders, he went to Aberdeen. The year after he come back from college, he went to Aberdeen. And when he come back, he was wanting to play. And that was when Pritch got injured. So Madders wanted to leave to go and go and play, and then he got his opportunity and took it.
And he got I think he was a top scorer at some point for Norwich.
I mean, whenever he just got in that range from a free kick outside the box, you knew it was a goal. It was like cheat code.
Obviously a quality player. Be honest.
Yeah.
Him chirping after the Europa League final about people saying you'll never win anything with Maddison. Does that feel a little bit like, you didn't play? As a football player, if you're in that situation, you win a cup and someone out there has said that Matt Jarvis, you can't go all the way with Matt Jarvis. Are you going to be like, I'm going back to them even though you didn't play?
I think if you go 5 years' time, no one's ever going to remember that he didn't play.
That's true. That's true.
But I think with him, he's really good in the media.
Yeah, he is.
He's always been good talking. He's very articulate. He talks well after the games, and then he's very good on the socials, and he doesn't mind saying something that's going to be a bit controversial. And I think that's why it's like that, Mope, when he had like that bit, he's happy to post stuff about that. And I think he gets shot at a lot. And I think, with the Roy Keane thing as well, he's done that. And he's quite happy to have them conversations. So I'm all for it, like, for him. And I think it creates stuff like this for us to talk about.
He's class as well, by the way. I don't... Not downplaying how good he is as a player, but I do think people know John Terry didn't play in the Champions League final because he ran on the pitch in a kit. Now people are going to know Maddison didn't play in the Europa League final because he made a big deal out of it here. I feel like history will...
But he played in every other game. I know he didn't. But you're going to say the same thing for like Roy Keane and Scholes that didn't play in a final in the Champions League.
But the thing is, we know Roy...
He was getting
no, because...
No.
you're right. But we're all right. We know Roy
they
Keane didn't play in that final, though, because it's so famous.
But you're
taking
taking that medal off him, though.
No way, no
It's in his house.
Because he's played in every other game.
He doesn't like that medal.
Of course he does.
Roy Keane doesn't like that medal.
He doesn't, but he's still got it.
Yeah, he's still got it. He doesn't like it, though.
What
It's
does-
other people's medal.
What is Matt Jarvis's pet peeve in a change room? Like a player comes in, does that, and he's done. He's done to you.
The worm.
I've seen some moves, but not the worm. What's my pet peeve?
Collins comes and just does the worm one day.
I'm sure he's probably done it.
In
James
Benidorm,
definitely
though,
done it. Yeah, in Benidorm on our night out, for sure. Andy would definitely try that as well. What's my pet peeve? I'm a bit old school in the sense that like you work hard. You don't skirt around. You don't like miss that and try and still get in on you work. I don't like people just skipping stuff and then thinking they expect to play.
But was there some players that you did play with that didn't work hard, but you know on the pitch he doesn't even need to. He's that good.
Yeah, but I think nowadays you can't get away with that. You can't carry anyone on the pitch, even though they're exceptional in certain aspects.
I feel like change happened like 2017, 2016, like where just the athleticism of everyone, the effort of everyone. Just I think Paul Pogba suffered, Mesut Ozil suffered at that transition where it's just like you actually have to do as much as your defensive midfielder physically.
You don't mind like, if you're in a team that has got like a Mesut Ozil, who top, and you're sprinting around everywhere and you just see him walking and not coming back, and after a while you're a little bit like, hold on a minute, why am I doing all this? I don't get the chance to go up there and do what you're doing.
Well,
you're
if he's
walking
creating and scoring goals for the team,
then you suck it up for a bit.
Yeah, you have to.
But the problem with that is when he doesn't do it, then everyone's on him, and then it creates something in the change room.
You play in the game Reece Oxford's debut against Arsenal in Mesut Ozil.
Yeah.
What were you lot thinking there?
That was a win at the Emirates.
I remember it was.
What were the boys saying that day?
Declan Rice.
'Cause you must have got back in the changing room and like, this kid is something else.
He never played that position before. He was a centre half.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he'd gone and played that holding midfielder role, and everyone was like, "Wow, that was impressive."
Yeah,
that was good. Because in training, like he for his age, obviously, you've got to remember what age he was. What was he? 16. Yeah.
16,
So
that time,
at 16-year-old playing or training in the first team, you're like, that's one. Like I remember being 16, going up and training with the first team like once and twice, and you'd be like, I don't, this
Matt,
is
be
awful.
honest though, when he got selected, did you think, what's going on here?
Well, he wasn't in my position, luckily. So
No.
if he was in my position, he'd play I'd be like, what is going on here?
Not what's going on, because obviously you see how good he is in
No,
training. but
I
we're
was
playing against
surprised.
Arsenal.
If I'm honest, I was surprised to see him start. Yeah, because in training, like you see him do something and you think, he's got, and then you see others, you're like, he's just not quite
Naive, bit
a
young.
little bit.
Yeah.
But he played that game and you think, wow. And then he played the first 5, I think, in a
Yeah,
row,
yeah, he went
and
on a run.
he was really good. And then he sort of
met
then
Lukaku.
Lukaku. I tell you what, at West Ham, Lukaku scored every single time he played against him.
Yeah,
whether he was at Everton, West Brom,
Brom, yeah,
he scored it. Man U, he scored every single time.
Oh,
yeah,
mate.
but I think everyone was going to get that for him. But and then after that, you sort of it's consistency at that age. He's come straight into the firing line because he's 16. He's done so well, and then after that, you've got to just sort of bleed him in a little bit.
Am I correct in saying when Oxford was starting those games, Declan Rice was in the background as well, or no?
I know.
Okay.
I would say no. I hadn't have heard of Dec at that point at all. I only remember Dec when I then left a few years later to be at Norwich, and he was then playing in the reserves then.
So just to go back, you win the champs with Wolves.
Yeah.
You go up.
Yeah.
You maintain. You hang about. You finished 8th at one point. No.
Ooh, not at Wolves. No.
No Wolves.
No.
Oh, I made that.
No.
up.
Nah,
It's like, we'll take that.
I made that. Up, scrap
You
it.
did 3 years at Wolves.
Well, yeah,
in the Premier.
3 years.
But there's
in the Prem,
there's a year where you get relegated.
Yep.
In that year,
Yep.
how soon do you know? All right, it's done. And what is your thought process? Are you like preparing for a move or like what is the thought process? Honestly,
So that was when Mick McCarthy got sacked.
For Terry Connor, yeah.
And then oh mate, TC.
TOC.
Is that a bit of a like if me and your boys and you get sacked and I go take the job now?
Yeah. Well, no.
I ain't chatting to you on the phone.
No. So T actually called Gaffer Mick McCarthy and said like,
"What's you need a documentary, man?
He's
What's
he's
a guy?
top, TC. So
Call
yeah,
his
so
mate
he
and say,
asked
"Yo,
him.
shall I take it?"
Mick was like,
Yeah.
because he was going to leave with
Yeah.
Mick, but no, he told him to take it. But I forgot what the question was.
no,
now.
just relegation. And
Yeah,
how
so
you're prepping.
but that so when there was 13 games left, I remember, and I scored 7 goals in them 13.
Jesus.
So my whole thing was like I'm desperate for us to stay up. That was my first and foremost. Like, but then I was like, if it doesn't work,
I want to move.
If it doesn't
I'm paying
work,
for a move.
I just played for England,
Yeah,
so I need
yeah.
to play
It's true.
in the Premier League. So I need to be playing well, and I did it the whole year. I did it the season before. I just seemed to score a few more goals at the end of that season. So mindset-wise, for me, it was there was no let up at all. I had to play my best because if we did get relegated, which in the end I think wasn't the last game of the season. I think it was the one before. So you're still you're playing for your future, really.
What's that like though, going into the last game of the season, knowing you're relegated?
Yeah, it's not nice.
It's
It's
just
not
like,
nice because it's a rubbish game.
yeah, dead rubber.
We had the season before where we stayed up by one goal. No, we stayed up on the last game season. We played Blackburn at home,
Massive
and it was like
moment.
5 or 6 teams that could go down.
Yeah.
And that was a ridiculous day because I remember it vividly. Before the game, all we had to do was draw. Really, there was loads of different scenarios.
Yeah.
But if we drew against Blackburn, they were fighting relegation. If we drew, we were pretty much safe. So we were like, right, keep it tight, let's go. Half time, we're 3-0 down.
Jesus Christ.
Half time, we're 3-0 down, and everyone's looking around the changing room, going like, what's just happened? Like, we were supposed to keep it tight. Like,
But they're fighting for their lives.
they're
though.
fighting for their lives,
Yeah.
and then we come out second half, and then we get to 3-2, right? We get 3-2, and then I think there's about 5 minutes left in the game, and you can hear it around the crowd that I think Birmingham either scored or had a goal against, and they were down. So basically, we were safe. Both teams were safe, and it got to like honestly, it was a bit embarrassing. So you get to like you could hear it around the crowd. Everyone knows, so all the players now get told, and it was like. Blackburn had it at the back and were passing around, and everyone was sort of
Just chill, no press.
no press, and
that's
then we got it, and it was like it was like only the last few minutes, but it was just a weird day.
Weird experience.
Weird
That's the same
day.
like QPR and City, isn't it?
Yeah, because
Yeah,
that
yeah.
time,
Yeah, because
did
QPR was
even
going on.
know? What was Cisse doing again?
He celebrated with them.
Celebrated.
Oh,
with
yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Same thing,
Talking
yeah.
about
Yeah.
Same kind of scenario.
I'll never
yeah.
forgive him for that.
So how soon after relegation's confirmed or before are you getting approached or someone's telling you, look, there's offers, there's opportunities here, there and everywhere? Because you would have, I think even if you'd have stayed up, you'd have got offers that year.
Yeah,
Your
I
numbers
wouldn't
were so
necessarily
good.
have moved.
No.
But yeah, I knew there was interest. I knew there was interest. But I did the whole of the summer. I come back, did the whole of pre-season. I even played in the first few games of the season at Wolves. But I knew there was bids going in, and they weren't being accepted. And then it sort of got to like I knew that this was the last and final.
And how old was you around that time, Matt?
How old? 24, 25?
So if
24, 25.
Right stuff, man.
if Saudi comes in for you,
This is very different now.
do you consider it?
I think you have to consider it. Not that I would want. I never. I know I can say it, but you might not believe me. But it was never about money when I played football. Even low, I was. My contract with Gillingham when I first signed was horrendous, and I stayed on that because I didn't sign a new deal. So I stayed on that for 3.5 years. I was on £225 a week until I moved to
You had a
Wolves.
second job, innit?
Paper round, yeah, early morning paper round. No, but I stayed on it. It wasn't about that. I loved playing. I didn't want to play in any other league. All I wanted to play was the Premier League because it was the best league in the world.
So,
But
go on.
now it's you're talking different. At that point it might have been getting hypothetically getting 20 grand to 150 grand.
Yeah.
Like whereas now it could be I've got no idea. You could be getting whatever you want in the
So you
Premier
could
League.
see both sides, certain players
100%.
going to-
You look at Neves now, who was at Wolves, who left when he was 24,
Yeah.
25.
Yeah.
Have you been watching him recently? I don't think his standards has dropped.
No,
But he's now made for life. His kids are made for life, and his kids' kids are made for life.
Yeah.
And he's probably still got an opportunity to come back,
And he still plays for Portugal.
and he still plays in the national team. So it's hard. But if you'd asked me there and then, would I have probably said no? But
Different back then.
but it's different.
Yeah.
I think if I'm now, it's
But
slightly different.
now Matt Jarvis is 24 now. Saudi saying we're
Yeah,
giving
but
you
where am
250.
I? Am I at Wolves and
You're
getting
at Wolves.
relegated?
Just about getting relegated. Yeah.
Then I'm
No. You know what?
TC the manager, I'm
No,
there.
let's change it. Let's change it. You're not going
on.
to get relegated. You just got promoted with Wolves. But now Saudi's come for you. We say, you know, Matt, we're going to give you 300 a week on a 3-year contract. You're 24. So at the time you could 27.
So I'd
still got another
I'd
big
not played
contract.
in the Premier before.
No.
No.
I know, man.
Go on.
Well, it depends what I was getting at Wolves as well.
Wolves
Not
said
$300.
we're not free. We'll give you 170.
170.
Wow.
I'd
Wolves.
stay.
No,
I'm staying. I'm staying. Wow. Top earner.
No, 100k at Wolves.
100k is a lot of what?
Everybody just got promoted Premier
No,
League.
35k.
Yeah,
35k.
yeah. Now he's
Okay, yeah.
Football manager.
75k.
That's
And
a
a
lot.
Prem. No, because you've
a
got to make
lot.
it something. But he's going to the Prem.
No, but it's football manager.
75k to 400k
Football
is
manager,
not
he
a
knows
lot.
the,
a
he
bad
knows the
agent.
inside of that, yeah.
No, you're getting 75k, but he's paying for the Prem. He wants to play in the Prem.
Yeah.
300k Saudi.
Take Wolves out of it then. Make it West Ham.
Okay, West Ham's coming for you then.
Yeah, there you go. 75.
75, Premier League,
3
Saudi,
years.
300k. 3-year contract. Bear
You
in mind,
stay
he
here,
could come
you
back.
got it with Andy Carroll on that.
What's my teammates? I'd like to think if I was doing that, I'd like to think I'd stay, but I just don't know.
You reckon every player that gets offered Saudi in their 20s, they must like first reaction is like, I'll talk to them again in 2 years'
Yeah.
time, and then someone gets on the phone to them and just goes, "No, mate, it's now."
Yeah,
and
I
we
know.
don't know if they're going to be interested in 2
Yeah,
years. We don't
yeah,
know if
yeah,
that
and you don't know
leads
if that's gonna bubble's gonna burst or anything.
You so
That's why I
much
gave you
just
3 years.
pressure.
Yeah, I know.
'Cause you could come back
But
in
you come
27.
back. Yeah, I know. You're turning me. You're my agent here.
3 years,
Yeah,
Specs,
3 years.
24, 27, still
And
got
it-
at least 4 years left in the game.
I think
Easy.
it's. I mean, that's what you say about Duran that went out there. I mean, he's obviously only done.
Is he moving?
He already-
He's already
moving
gone
his
again.
contract.
But
He's made his
I
money.
think, yeah, but you got to. That's why you got to stay in out of that to keep your money.
I
But
wonder if
I
there are
don't know.
clauses in like with Jordan Henderson and that. I wonder
Yeah,
if
well,
there
that's
are
why he went to
clauses.
Ajax.
Yeah, exactly. And he tried to go to Monaco, and he's being linked with Sunderland now, though.
I know we might
coming
have to
home.
wait a little bit.
Still wait, really?
Yeah, the terms and conditions.
Right, so Wolves are relegated.
Yep.
You get club record signing, West Ham, right? What is your relationship like with the West Ham fans?
What, straight away?
Yeah, straight away.
I think expectation levels have risen
Yeah.
for sure. That is real. Like the pressure on being club record signing is definitely there to be seen.
Was that heavy for you?
Yeah. I mean, in the nicest possible way, like every player that gets signed for whatever amount of money, it's not their fault. Like they didn't say I want to go for that price, but the expectation level is still there.
Yeah.
And I definitely felt that. But as we said earlier, that's probably one of my best years.
Cool,
so you can either take it and try and go for it, or you can take it and it doesn't go for you. And for me, I think it went. And luckily for me, Andy Carroll signed that summer and took it off me. So brilliant.
I was going to say, your first year at West Ham, you smash all these crosses in. I'm assuming the fans love you.
Yeah, to a degree.
Yeah.
I think
It's up to
there's
Mark.
always that thing of style of play. There's all that thing with
Oh,
Sam.
big
There's
Sam,
always
yeah.
the thing of with that, the stigma of that. And for me, I actually had to learn a new way of playing a little bit, because Sam was very much like I say about statistics or set plays. So I had to learn that if, for instance, the ball was on the right-hand side and it was getting crossed in, because we only played with one striker, if I was not in the POMO, I was getting killed. And then from set plays, we had, like, even on the edge of our box, we had Ginger would take a set piece and launch it into the penalty spot or whatever. I would have to pin the centre half, and I'm like 5'8", pinning a 6 foot whatever. And there was certain places that you had to be in where the game was going on, or set plays, which I had to learn. And pinning someone was never my game, but I had to do it.
Is that restricting your creativity? Is that the beginning really of like? Because now players have basically no creativity. They're every motion on the pitch is instructed and pre-coached or whatever. Did you feel like you were losing a bit of like freedom?
Oh, on set plays and stuff, yes, but not when I got the ball. No, I think Sam was very much like go and give him the ball and get in the box.
Yeah, okay.
So, again, I had a good relationship with Joey O'Brien, who played left back. He was right-footed, really, and I was like, I don't want you to keep running past me, because you're killing my space. So we had quite a good relationship where he would just back me up. He would give me the ball, I'd try and take someone on. If I couldn't, I would turn back and I'd play to him, and then he would cross. But he wouldn't keep bombing around me.
Interesting.
And
that's
we
not
had
come
a good
from
link
Sam,
up.
That's come from you.
That was me and Joey, yeah.
Right.
And I would always, because he was right-footed as well. he was able to sort of bend, like curl the ball sort of towards the goal, the touchline, so he could play it in between the defenders, and it will keep going towards me. So I would always if I'm coming short, I'm running, and we just had a bit.
No,
of
you did have freedom though. You did.
Yeah, when we got the ball, we did, but it was just like, right, when you do get to that point, these are your 3 crosses.
Yeah.
And then that side of things.
Who was your toughest opponent? Like who was that fullback that he was like, oh, not today, and he was on blocking. Your crosses.
I mean, there's a fair few of them, but I gave every single one a good run.
Hey!
No. Don't get me right, it didn't work every time, but my first port of call was always just knock and run and have a foot race. But you look at the players that I was playing against there, Zabaleta when he first come to City.
Class.
You had Ivanovic at Chelsea.
Mental.
You had Glenn Johnson. You had Carl Walker.
Sagna.
You had
Sagna.
Sanya, yeah. And then I only ever played right wing once a year, and that was to play against Ashley Cole.
What?
Why did they do that?
When I was at Wolves, because he was phenomenal, and I played right wing.
So was that your
chasing
thing?
back.
Just to say, okay, let me test you today. That was your first thing.
My first thing, every single time.
Every
Get
time.
It,
knock it.
foot race.
You
Okay,
didn't care
let's
who
see.
it was?
No.
So if you had Cafe against you, you do the same thing.
I mean, I'd beat him now. He can't run, probably. No, I would. That would be my
Just to
first
set the
thing, just to
tone.
have set the tone. And if I beat them, I'm thinking,
Okay, cool.
today's going to be
Long
fine.
day, yeah.
If I didn't, right, next one, cut
Change.
inside, do that, fake to do that, and then chop, and you just work them out.
Yeah.
But that was my first port of call, just try and have a foot race and see what happens.
Of course, use your pace, use your attributes.
Matt, we have a question that we never ask our guests.
Nice. Good question.
Has there been a time where you've had a bad game because John Cena's just won Royal Rumble or Batista is champion? Has there been like something going on in the WWE that's distracted your game? just trying to find out if you liked wrestling.
Okay. I thought you were asking for a friend. No.
Is there anyone that was interesting hard?
Not wrestling, no, not hard. I mean, sure, there was lads that would probably been into wrestling, but not hard that would have changed their view
Changed
for
their
the next
performance,
day.
yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there would have been some that would have been creating celebrations if they scored from a wrestling.
Oh, what are you saying?
background.
Andy Carroll did the Undertaker celebration. You was like, Andy, I know what that is. Oh, man.
You get
not-
fined
not
for
good.
doing that.
Is it?
I reckon, yeah.
What you say Undertaker copyright? Oh, yeah.
I reckon
That
you get
means
fined,
something
yeah.
else, isn't it?
You get fined in the NFL.
Or what about
for
this one,
doing
MT?
How the camera zoomed in straight on you there for that one.
Also, peripheral vision. I just thought about it as well. Upton Park.
Yeah.
The stadium goes round and there's a gap and there's a tower block in the gap. You know what block I'm talking about?
missed
Was
that.
that in your peripheral vision when you were crossing the ball, by the way? I love that block, you know.
Some of my crosses went in it.
I love that ground, man.
Remember, Upton Park was legendary. Do you have any underrated players that was your, like, for example, like Chris Wood is my guy,
Yeah.
but the world doesn't talk about him. Do you have any underrated players that no one talks about? Playing
Michael Kitely.
Yeah, Kites was.
Yeah.
Yeah, he. I'm gutted for him. He kept on. His knees were bad, but he
From
was
Essex,
he
by
was
the
a
way.
player at the
I
time
loved
at
him.
Wolves.
Loved him.
Where's Hoolahan?
Ooh,
Norwich. Absolute
Norwich.
baller.
They're legends.
What a baller! Honestly,
Hoolahan?
he was top, and he was playing like when I played at Norwich with him. He was more not towards the end of his career. That's wrong, but like on the 33
He was over the hill.
plus. I wouldn't say over the hill. He was in unreal nick.
Okay.
And like, but as a player, he just. My first training session at Norwich, I remember it. Everyone was saying about Wes. He's class. I was like, cool. And he was on my team, and I made this. He was receiving the ball. I made this running behind, and I was like, Wes? And I sprinted in, and he's not looked, and I've stopped the run. He's passed exactly where I should have been, and he looked at me and was like, "Why'd you stop?" And I was like, "Because like didn't."
There was no communication.
And he was
nothing.
like, "Don't stop." I was like, "Okay," and that was the first thing. I was like, "Yeah." And he was left-footed, like no right foot. But you
According
could
to
not get the ball.
Wikipedia, he's still playing.
Wow.
Yeah.
For Doncaster City.
Yeah,
Not
I mean,
Rovers.
he could, mate. His physique, he got better with age. Honestly,
yeah,
he was
he's
a
43.
top player.
Not Rovers.
So there's Doncaster City and there's Doncaster Rovers.
Yep.
Oh no, we've got another club to go and investigate. Let me put that in my notes right now.
surprised he didn't know that, I suppose. That's mad.
Ross McCormack played that, and Charlie Mulgrew.
Is it?
Charlie Mulgrew, I played with him at Wolves as well.
Obviously, like Reece Oxford comes in, and West Ham, the pressure is like young academy player. He's going to be the best player in the world. That's West Ham's culture. When Joe Cole comes back, are you seeing Joe Cole that you maybe grew up thinking, wow, you're probably the same age as him, but that reputation obviously
Same age as us.
transcendent.
I think he's older than me, don't worry.
He's a couple of years older than you.
He's top. I don't think people understand his career and how good and what he's done. It was his phenomenal career. When he come back, obviously he'd been at Liverpool, been at Lille, went back to Liverpool, and then he come to West Ham. So I don't think he played loads. He was just desperate to play. And at that time, it was sort of me and him fighting for that left wing spot. I wouldn't say he was in his peak of what he was, but he was a baller. Like if you look at, he just loved football, and in training, in that, like the end, if you do little 5-0, he was the player that you wanted on your team. Like he loved it.
I've got a sneaky suspicion that he would have been in Benidorm with you and Ginge and Andy Carroll.
Well, he's at house festivals wearing bucket hats, right?
That's right. With Carlton Cole.
The thing is, if we went to Benidorm with the three of us, I know Carlton would have been there.
You don't
even need to put him in. He would have been there.
He's going to be there.
Who's your top 3 best English players of all time, by the way?
Best English players. You're not even going to give me a position, just overall.
Just your top 3.
Flipping hell. None of these pre-sent questions, no.
It's your preference. Your preference.
I'd have to put Rooney.
Have to.
Is he number 1?
Off the top of my head, yes. Trying to think of anything else. It's hard for me to say anything like, your Bobby Moores and that, because I didn't really live it.
Nah. We have rules here.
You didn't see it.
We basically just have a Premier rule.
Okay.
Because there's no point talking about it. It's a different game, by the way.
Still. I think everyone says like Gaza. I still remember Gaza. I mean, I say Gary Lineker because it was but I wouldn't really. It's different.
Definitely.
If you're putting like now, Lineker doesn't really play because of that sort of system. But he was a goal machine, wasn't he? I'd go Rooney. Just playing for England, I think you can't not put Beckham in. Just for England. Just because of what
you're a winger. You know what it's like to get those.
But I think if you look what happened to him, and then what he come back and sort of basically just took England wherever they went because of him. I think he for playing for England, I think Beckham's got to be sort of in there. I think there's maybe better players, but I think as actually playing for your country, I think.
Oh yeah, come on. Man.
And then I've completely forgot, but I would say he's the best fullback that I've ever played against, and the best there's ever been is Ashley Cole.
Oh,
Of course.
So you're going Neville?
Yeah.
Of course. So
Ashley Cole.
I'm like you didn't mention no Scholes, no Gerard. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, I like it. I like that.
I would say Skulls, but like,
I hear it.
Skulls for
Aaron
me.
Lennon, none. No.
Aaron Lennon. I've chased him a few times.
You did not catch him.
Even though I know what he's going to do, I still can't catch him.
You did not catch him. Yeah. So as someone that supported United growing up, do you remember your first Old Trafford game?
Yeah.
Go on, what was that like?
I got man of the match.
Flipping heck.
I got a big bottle of man of the match presented to me by Clayton Blackmore after the game.
Oh, God.
I felt like that game was on Setanta.
Oh. Jesus Christ.
I mean, you've got some memory.
I remember it's an evening game. I remember Wolves beating Man United away.
Yeah, we got
1-0?
Yeah.
I always had a good game. There's a couple of clubs that you seem to always have good games against. I always had a good game against United, and I always had a good game against Liverpool. There's vivid memories of like I never had a good game against Charlton at the Valley. I never, don't know why, just didn't ever. But always at Anfield and at Old Trafford, I always had a good game.
It's not a space. They give you too much,
exactly.
Don't
And you
give
sort
Jarvis
of get left alone a little bit because I was playing at the time. I was playing for Wolves. You sort of like get that little bit. I was a winger up against the fullback. They'd be like, yeah, they're cool. So you do get more. So that's the biggest difference from the Championship to the Premier League. In a Champ, you get less time on the ball, but it's easier to do something with as a winger.
Yeah.
Whereas in the Premier, you get more time on the ball, but it's a lot harder to do anything. Like if you move that way, they're quicker, stronger, they anticipate it better.
So who was you up against for United? Nev.
Neville.
Oh, that's what he said.
Raphael.
That's what he said. What he said about you.
Yeah, Wes Brown.
What did he say about Matt Jarvis?
He said he should have won the pen.
Valencia.
Oh, yeah.
Bad back line.
No, come on.
Oh, hold on, sorry.
That's not the back line. He's saying each.
He
right back.
said.
Gary Neville. Raphael.
Yeah, that's each right back.
Yeah, I know, but
Wes Brown.
O'Shea?
He said Valencia.
O'Shea might say Valencia.
Valencia
yeah.
that's tough.
So,
Yeah.
sorry, because I haven't asked a question today. It's my first question.
Yeah, facts.
This is a personal question. Have you played against Moussa Dembele for Spurs?
Yes.
Okay, that's one.
Yes.
That's one. Okay.
Okay.
Have you played against Michael Carrick at any time in your career?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Have you, no, 1 second.
He's coming.
Let him land.
Let him land.
Have you played against Cesc Fabregas?
Yes.
Okay.
Baller.
All right. This is very good, Matt.
All different, very different players.
I know,
Before you go there.
Yeah. And there's who's the one more? Last one.
Modric.
Oh yeah. Have you ever played against Modric?
Yeah.
You have. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. T, can you help me here?
How many positions have I got?
No, that's 5. You got 5. Rank the
Right,
5.
Yeah, rank the 5.
Oh, man.
Right.
Is that 5 people?
5 people.
That
Yeah.
one,
Can
that
you-
was 4.
Can you rank these 5? Dembele?
You got to
Oh no, I
put me. You got
didn't
you.
say it. I didn't say the 5th person. I didn't say it.
Who's the 5th person?
Cazorla.
Santi, yeah.
That's 6, but yeah.
Have you played against Santi Cazorla?
Yeah.
All right. So we got Dembele, Cazorla, Modric, Fabregas, and Carrick.
You've got to put me in a team because I need to know who's around me for them players.
All right. He's got. Yeah. You're on the wing.
Yeah.
And you got to play 3 midfielders.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Play.
You can play with.
Oh, of the
Oh, what,
5.
3 out of
Out
5.
of 5, yeah.
Yeah.
You could
Okay,
pick. You
cool.
could pick. You could
Yeah,
pick.
yeah.
Of the 5
Out of
big
5,
Nah,
yeah.
nah, you're losing
Yeah.
this one.
Why?
Because you need Dembele.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Listen. Oh,
If I'm playing with 3, I'm gonna have Carrick sitting. Who was the other? So you had Carrick, Dembele, Modric.
Oh, I'll give you more.
Cesc
I'll give you
Fabregas.
more players.
No, that's the
I'll
fun.
That'll make it even harder.
No, why?
hold on. 1 second. Because watch this. So those 5:
Yeah.
Gilberto Silva and Patrick Vieira.
No,
Oh, no,
Matt.
you can't.
Forget those 2.
You can't.
Forget those 2. Just go for
Yeah.
the first
Why?
5. Why would you do that? Because Gilberto Silva and Vieira's like they're legends. Forget those 2.
But they
The first 5 were great.
They were part of the
They were
thing.
part of the
first five.
exactly.
He's moved the post.
All right,
He's moved the
cool.
post. He's moved the
Oh, I'll
post.
move the post. I'll take him
You've
out.
moved the post.
I'll take him out.
You know you moved the
But you know what
post.
you've done there.
You know you moved the first 5. Go on.
So you got Carrick,
Modric,
Modric,
Santi Cazorla, Fabregas,
Fabregas,
and Dembele.
If I'm playing the 3, I'd have Carrick.
sitting.
I'd have Carrick sitting. I would have.
Don't lead the witness. Just
Oh man, this is tough. Like from a selfish point of view, because if you play with players that are right-footed, they always go out to the right, because naturally it's easier to go out that way than that way. So I'd probably selfishly put Dembele in because of that, because he would naturally left-footed come out that way.
whip it to you. Yeah.
And then
I know the last one. You know the last one. Come on, Matt.
what, Modric or Fabregas?
It's out of those, but we know who it is though.
I know you say don't lead the witness.
Come on.
That's quite hard though, Modric.
Modric, what?
But don't
what he's
forget
done.
Tottenham Modric, not Real Madrid. Tottenham
Same
You
Modric.
guy.
are leading
Same
the.
guy.
You've
Yeah, but
led
that's
the
that's
witness.
that's
No,
different. That's
because
why I say you.
It's not the
Same
same
guy,
guy.
though,
It's
same
not the
guy.
same because
Same
Ronaldo
guy.
wasn't the same Ronaldo.
And he's-
Madrid.
No,
And
no,
you
true.
got Cazorla.
It's not the same
Yeah,
guy.
I know, but unfortunately, as much as he's top, he's not getting in that because of the other 2.
Yeah, that's understandable.
So I would. I think maybe just for legs with complementing Dembele, I would probably go more towards Cesc
Okay.
than Modric.
Well,
All right, here's a different way of phrasing that question.
Go on.
You've got a midfield of Fabregas and Vieira. Out of those 5,
listen, man.
who are you putting in that extra midfield role? Santi,
Vieira.
You got Vieira. You
Oh,
got
I've got-
Fabregas.
Okay.
You got Modric, Dembele,
G.
Gilberto Silva.
Who am I? So you got
Santi.
Vieira.
And you've got
Cesc.
Cesc, yeah.
I think I'm probably still going Carrick.
Listen,
Good
for,
pick.
for context,
Yes.
Yeah.
he's getting battered online because he done a.
I'm not.
Let
getting
him
back.
land.
No,
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 let
no,
him
no,
talk.
for
Let him
context.
talk.
No,
Let him
no,
talk.
no, no,
Let him
listen.
talk.
No,
Cool.
I'll
Let him
say it,
talk,
man.
man.
Yeah,
Let
yeah,
him
then I'll
talk.
say it.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay,
Talk
different
to him.
POVs. For context, he's getting battered online.
No, change that. 'Cause I'm not getting battered online.
You said don't change.
We
You
just
said
said
let
let
him
him
say
talk
what
and
he
the
then
word
said.
battered, I'm
Miles,
not getting battered
let him
online.
talk,
though.
man. We got a guest there.
For context, he's getting
Pummeled.
online
I'm not
abuse.
getting. I'm not
Online
getting. I
abuse.
haven't
Yeah.
seen it, by the way.
Yeah.
Because he done a Arsenal Spurs 11. He put Dembele over a myriad
Of midfielders.
midfielders.
He put Dembele, Fabregas.
But you've actually vindicated him in putting
you know what
Dembele in
it
your
is?
three.
I didn't have every other, but you gave me them 5, and I'm saying for me, selfishly, left-footed, he'll come out my side.
Yeah. And the only reason why I put Dembele in there is because I liked him as a Spurs player. I know Modric is better. I know Santi Cazorla is better. I know Gilberto Silva is better. But I would have liked to have seen Fabregas, Vieira, and Dembele. There's nothing wrong with that. I know they're better.
Why is Dembele in this list, Matt? I don't get it.
I think it's because we had this conversation earlier about on Instagram and everything. All they're showing is his the way he holds the ball, the way he manipulates it. He's so strong. I think he's one of the strongest players. Like, he just was able to manipulate the ball but hold people off. And I think that's why nowadays everyone sees him as this.
But that's
incredible
21-year-olds though, Matt.
Yeah.
I came from the era. I saw him his whole career in the Premier League.
And he was able to drag the ball, always seemed to keep the ball and just drag it around. And I think he needed to have the people around him to play, because in the Spurs team, if you didn't have someone that, because you complement, you can't have
it by himself.
You can't.
Garrick done it by himself.
That's nothing wrong.
I'm just saying.
But my thing is, I never once said they're not better than him. They are. That's just what I would like to see.
And I've got a problem with what you like. I hate what you like.
And I hated the fact that he liked Chris Wood for 10 years.
Cool, that's
I
fine.
hated it. We all hated it.
But he backed me though.
Huh?
He backed me.
And so did Matt Jarvis back me.
Where?
Kinda. You don't play left wing for England. So it's kind of different.
But Jordy, when the pro says it, Bowen,
It's true.
It's true. When the pro says it,
It's true.
Crowd, no. When the pro says it, when he says the pro says
man,
it,
do you know what he
it's
said?
gospel.
Do you know what Matt said? Matt said he was talking about the left side
Selfishly.
and how much he needed the rest of the team.
He's the pro. Why are you contesting it?
Yes,
It's
that works towards my favour.
Too much explaining.
Oh, here we go. The Derby boys. The Derby boys, yeah. Baba Ray's gone that way.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, my God.
Thank you. It's just a preference. That's what it was.
Before we wrap, because it's been great, it's been class.
Thank you,
I
Matt.
just want to talk about that England cap, that England appearance. When did the call come? Because confidence must have been.
Did you cry?
Super. At that point in your career, your confidence must just be like every day you're waking up just going like anything could happen. Like, everything's going right for me on the pitch right now. When that call comes, how are you feeling?
It wasn't a call. It was a text message, because Fabio Capello was the manager at the time.
Oh yeah.
But weirdly, I'd been in a few of the preliminary squads before in the previous months, but I'd never obviously got in. So I was at Wolves. We played Aston Villa away in the early kickoff on the Saturday. Wolves hadn't beaten Villa at Villa Park in 30 years. We won 1-0. I scored. All right. I then gone home, early kickoff. I'd gone home back down south. I come back up Sunday evening, and I got into my house, and then I'm in the kitchen, and I get a text message. I don't know what the time is. Probably about 5-6 o'clock. I can't remember exactly what time it got released. And it was from someone at the FA. Just said, "Look, you've been selected to, called up for England." And I know so many stories that people are getting text messages from not the FA that are getting called up for England for their first time. So I was like,
You thought it was,
I didn't know.
It was Ginge.
Yeah, I didn't know who it was. So and then about a minute later, I'd then get a call from someone at the FA to say, "Look, no, it's not
Brilliant.
wind up." So that it was like incredible. And like they said, you got 45 minutes before it gets announced on Sky Sports News.
Wow.
So I'm calling all my family and trying to get hold of everyone, which didn't go as planned, but it's phenomenal. I mean, as you say, at that time I was flying. I was doing really well, and all the hype at Wolves, obviously everyone was pushing because I was the first player since
Striker ball.
Yeah,
ball.
Steve. Yeah, I was the first player since Bully to get called up for England. So the whole club was mad pushing and behind me. So
major.
I was feeling on top of the world. I could do anything, and I was playing like that on the weekend. So it was
Not
incredible.
intimidated at all when you show up to training and it's
Well,
all the superstars.
Well, yeah, I was thinking if I go in the middle here, I'm not coming out. But it was class. But that's what I mean. Capello was the manager, and to be called up by someone not necessarily he didn't speak much English at all, but to be called up by someone that's his pedigree, what he's done, and the clubs that he's managed
And played for.
and then play for. And I'm playing, no disrespect, I'm playing at Wolves. We're fighting relegation, and the rest of them are all in top 6 clubs, all playing Champions League.
It's a big one.
It was a huge deal. So absolutely loved it. And then had a few few funny stories about playing table tennis there as well.
Oh, really? Yeah, you must have dominated that, surely.
Well, like I said to you before, I don't play often. So there was a table, we all played. The first few games I played, I was poor. I got beat, and then I got my eye in a little bit, and then I beat them all. Yeah. And then the next day, someone found out, and I got I got hammered.
Specs, you don't know ball challenge. Who was the team Matt Jarvis was playing against for his first international debut for England?
Wow. Going through my memory of all the England international games I watched live, I'm going to say the country that always used to come up on ITV, Andorra. Am I right?
No, good choice.
Give me the letter.
I use that example because, like I say, if I played once for England, but I could have played anywhere in the world. Like I could have been in Andorra playing, but I managed to get my one at Wembley.
Brilliant.
In front of 80 or 1,000.
Brilliant.
Oh, I know. No, was it a British team?
No,
African nation.
What?
Yep.
In what? In 2014, 2015?
2011.
All right, I'm going to go wild guess. Because if you give me the letter, I'll get it straight away.
Yeah.
Shall I?
No, give it.
I was gonna.
African country in 2011.
I was gonna give him a striker.
All get on a plane.
Nah, don't give him the
He
strike.
had a teammate on loan from Arsenal from there at one point in his career.
On loan from Arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
Been on Channel U.
On loan
Carries
from
around a table now.
Togo carries the table.
You made
You
that
said
joke
it.
last week that he's carrying a table around now. Everywhere he goes, chicken nuggets.
Chicken nuggets.
He's an uncle now. He's an uncle now. He's an uncle now.
He's not getting. He doesn't even remember his own jokes.
He's Lethal B's cousin.
Lethal B's cousin.
Ghana.
Yeah.
Ghana came to Wembley.
Do you remember?
They were good. What? In that case? No way. Are you sure it was Ghana?
It was. Do you remember? It was the game with
That's
Yang.
Cameroon. Bro.
As Marge scored
You sure?
in the game, yeah.
Because
I've got his shirt. I know.
African countries back in the day, like one of the tricks that I'm not meant to say, but it's coming out soon anyway. Like Ghana would wear like Cameroon shirts and come out as Cameroon. But
Yeah, shut up, man. Shut up. He couldn't even finish his joke. Oh my god.
that's a big one.
What's the best? What's the best shirt you've left a picture of?
See, I wish now I went back. I didn't like it. I didn't like going up and asking
that.
players
Yeah, I
for
understand.
shirts.
I
I
think I'd be
felt
like that.
James
I felt really
Maddison
awkward.
loves it.
Yeah, but the thing is, some people are more than happy to do it, and I just felt awkward. The only one I wish that I did get was gigs, but I never really tried to push for it.
Well, gigs watchers. Do the
I
right
love
thing,
your
man.
shirt. Yeah, for
Sure.
sure.
I told you before that I was going to explain Virtue and a new electrolytes package. Obviously, you're not in pre-season anymore, but you still train.
Yeah.
How often do you train?
I'd like to train like 4 or 5 times a week if I can.
What stops you?
Kids.
Okay, I hear it.
Kids will do it. Kids will do it.
You can relate, man.
Yeah.
This is a brand new electrolyte sachet. This is the best electrolyte sachet on the market. It's 0 sugar, nothing artificial, all 6 electrolytes. Most leading tablets don't have any of this stuff in. You pour it into your water. It's got
Live demo.
2,400 milligrams of total electrolytes. Most normal sachets have about 385. We are shareholders. This flavour is strawberry lemonade.
My
I've got lemon lime,
My favorite one, by the way.
which is good for my sinus.
Is that what? No, it's not. Don't. That's a false health benefit.
It's not. It's called a joke. It's called a joke. Don't ever explain my joke.
You just tip it into your water.
This took care of me yesterday, man. It was too hot.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
great for hydration.
God.
Perfect for hydration.
Matt, I will give you some, but I don't share but the bottle.
No,
with you.
that's
not
fine.
even my kids.
No.
We have a special code for our viewers. If you go on Amazon, it's on Amazon Prime now. It's now officially distributed on Amazon Prime. You go FML Hydrate, one word. You'll get 20% off an order on the Virtue electrolyte sachets. We'll talk more about it in the next couple of weeks, but this is the most important thing to have this summer.
It's the POMO.
And anyone doing pre-season right now, pre-season starts coming back on Sunday League, Saturday League, 5-side league. You need this incorporated into your routine, the Virtue electrolytes.
Even if you're gaming.
Even if you're gaming.
You need energy for
I mean, you
gaming.
do lose a lot of sweat gaming
Yeah,
and
yeah.
driving as well. But yeah, 20% off Amazon FML Hydrate by the Virtue electrolyte
Zanya.
sachets. We'll talk more about it in the next couple of weeks. But I just wanted to let you know, Matt,
Yeah.
because the game's changed a lot since you stopped playing. You can get electrolyte straight in a powder now. You don't need to, slaughter cows for it the way that Mick McCarthy used to.
Miles, you don't know ball challenge.
Go on. I like these.
Which one of Matt Jarvis's teammates had the chicken arm celebration?
Oh,
that's
no,
easy.
then.
Oh wow!
That's easy. Well done. Well done, man.
I know. I watched it.
No, I thought you wouldn't get it.
I thought you wouldn't get it either.
You don't know ball challenge.
Go on then.
Jordy, name me 5 players
Jesus.
Matt Jarvis
Jesus.
liked. No, you have to guess 5 players that you really liked.
Dimitri Payet, Ravel Morrison.
No, he played the players he played with, obviously.
Yeah.
Why are you
both of those,
changing? Why are you changing?
No, sorry, both of those.
Yeah,
Okay.
No.
Played with both of them.
yeah, but come on. give me some Barclays.
You
players.
say like that I liked, as in,
you're like
as in what?
Nice,
Yeah.
nice guys.
Nice guys.
Nice guys. Okay.
Oh, shall I keep going?
Yeah.
Carl Jenkinson.
Sylvan Ebanks Blake.
Nice. There's a player there.
Diamersi Mbokani.
Why are you looking at me?
Because he's Congolese.
I'm not Congolese. I'm from Doncaster.
And QPR's assistant manager,
QPR's assistant manager now.
Ali Diarra.
Alou Diarra.
All right, speaking of Diarra, Matt, you don't know wrestling. What was the name of Undertaker's brother?
Oh, you're gonna have to give me.
I'll give you a clue.
England's best striker.
Played for Millwall and Tottenham. What's the name of Undertaker's brother, Matt Jarvis?
Oh no, he
Want another one?
Millwall and Tottenham.
Yeah.
And he played for Leyton Orient.
And Norwich.
Oh, Kane.
And Leicester.
Hey! Congratulations.
We're just teaching all our guests wrestling too.
Mine went blank.
Matt, have you ever been part of a dressing room that's like completely broken?
Not broken. I've been in a change room where there's been a little split and there's been sort of knowingly people wanting to leave, people wanting to stay. So I've definitely been in that.
Does that affect your football personally?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it does.
Okay.
I think you can home in on your own thing, but it affects training. It affects the atmosphere.
Does it affect games though? It's business. Like, I might not want to pass to him. I might go over here. Or does that?
I would say at some point that would come in. I mean, naming no names, but like strikers will be desperate to score themselves and not. So they would either maybe pass that ball a little bit too wide if they're in on goal, so that they can't get that clean.
Wow.
I
These
reckon,
things happen.
I would say, not in my experience.
Allegedly. Allegedly.
But I can definitely see it.
Yeah.
Like you're desperate to do well yourself. So if you're on the bench and there's a penalty, you're desperate for that striker to miss because you want to come on and score.
Well, Matt, we've said last question about 6 times now.
Well, that's 17 more.
One last question. Who's winning Love Island?
Come on. I'm 39 years old.
Come on. Matt, what's going on?
Thank you so much for coming, Matt. That's class.
Legend. Irons.
Massively appreciate that.
That was your song, innit? Jarvis, Matty Jarvis. He's flying down the wing. He's the hardest.
It wasn't, but I'll take that one. Do you know, genuinely,
Honestly.
do you know my one from Gillingham, right?
Go on.
One from Gillingham is he plays on the left, he plays on the right. That boy, Matt Jarvis, makes Messi look.
Wow.
It didn't take off. but yeah.
And your dad wrote it.
But but no, Jules started that. It never took off. I wish it went.
Gillingham.
Gillingham, we're
Thank
coming.
you
We're
again,
coming.
Matt. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Give us 5 stars on Spotify if you haven't already.
FML.
Thank you again, Specs, Jordy, Miles, and of course, Matt Jarvis.